our mindfulness session this morning. I'm Jessica. I know everyone here today, but those of you that are watching via YouTube, hello. So this is our second week. We started the mindfulness online workshop, class, session, whatever you want to call it, last week. And we touched on an introduction to it. So we touched on what mindfulness is. So before we get going, I just want to create this safe space for everybody, whether you're here with us live today or whether you're watching it as a recording. I want you to really just embrace who you are, how you're feeling, and whatever comes up today. So there's often a lot of pressure to feel a certain way, to feel relaxed, to feel happy, to feel good, to feel calm. And yes, they are great ways to feel, and we should all strive for that. But at the same time, we often ignore or dismiss or belittle or push away actual feelings that we sometimes feel, which are things like fear, anxiety, confusion, sadness, and they're all really valid feelings and valid thoughts, and we should be able to acknowledge them as well. Yeah, so by dismissing them, if you've come here today and you're not feeling so good inside, that's fine, is basically what I'm saying to you. It's okay to feel however you're feeling today. So I just want to create that space for everybody, that we're not all here to be shooting rainbows out of our head and, you know, feeling wonderful and happy and free. We're here to just be ourselves, and however that looks and feels for you in this moment right now is absolutely fine. So I just start with that. And yeah, we're gonna just recap last week what mindfulness is. So have a little think in your minds, or you can use the chat box. I'm going to open my chat box now so that I can see if anyone's talking. If anyone wants to, so you can choose when you're chatting, you can talk to everyone. I think we can only talk to everyone. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Yes, I think you just chat in the chat box. Yeah, so if you want to just have a little think, have a little recap, and if you're new to the session, if you're watching this as a recording and you haven't done the session before, what do you think mindfulness is, or what does mindfulness mean to you? Have a little think, and feel free to write it in the chat box if you want to. Oh, I've got some typers. And if it helps, you can even close your eyes if it helps to focus in on yourself to think about these things. You can do that as well. What is mindfulness? Sometimes people find it easy to journal as well, so feel free to bring a book and a pen or a notepad and pen with you to these sessions. I'm always writing things down. I've got my book here now, even, so that when things come into my mind, maybe for future classes or things that maybe come up in this session, I can always journal them down. So that's a really good way of doing it as well, if you want to write things. Yeah, so someone's said, paying attention to what's happening in the present moment without judging it or trying to change it. Yes, lovely. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty spot on. It's about relaxation and focusing on positivity and moving forward. Yeah, you can definitely focus on all those things as well. It's really about bringing conscious awareness. So whatever's happening around you, trying not to control it, trying not to judge it, but definitely if you want to make a positive change, we can apply that to it. And actually, that's what we're going to focus on that a little bit today. So we're going to focus on being mindful of our surroundings, being mindful of what's going on around us, and how we can actually shape that and make positive changes if we want to. Yeah, so Really great, really good. So I set you guys a homework task last week. It was a bit of a fun homework task. Don't worry, I'm not. There's not a homework assignment that you'll have to hand in. It was more of a general activity. It was more of a general activity that you guys were going to do. And don't worry if you didn't do it at all. That's absolutely fine. It was just for you guys to practice. And what did I even set you? Oh yes. So I think we did brushing our teeth. We said that we were going to apply mindfulness to brushing our teeth, to take it slowly and really apply mindfulness to everything that we did. Just give me a little wave if you were able to do that, and don't worry if you didn't. Honestly, it's not a test if you didn't. Were you Mary? Were you with us last week? No, didn't think you were. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, so how did that work out for you guys? Do you want to have a little share? Jenny, do you want to share how that was for you? I definitely did that task. I do it quite often. I always do sort of mindfulness with mundane tasks, because it's difficult it's sometimes doing something you don't want to do. But if you apply your mindfulness to the task, it's almost like you're taking yourself out of the situation, you're observing the situation. But something like brushing your teeth and really taking the time to brush each teeth and noticing how much saliva gets in your mouth and noticing the taste, and it brings a whole new experience to brushing your teeth. It doesn't necessarily make it really exciting and really fun, but if we're applying mindfulness to something, then we're not just getting through something, we're not just dismissing it. And actually, if we're brushing our teeth, we're doing something that's really good for our hygiene and our health. And then we have to think about what our teeth do for us. What would we be like without them? And so it gets a little bit deeper than that. So actually mindfulness can peel back layers to give us a deeper understanding and appreciation for things that we might normally dismiss or ignore, or be, a bit frustrated or angry with because we've got to do something. Yeah. Okay. So we will start again. We're going to do some mindfulness activities. We're going to do a lot of talking, but we're also going to do some very practical mindfulness activities so that you guys really experience these things and can get them ingrained and embedded into your mind and into your body, so that you can practice these things on a daily basis when you need them. And they're helpful. They're really helpful. So we'll start off with just mindful breathing again. So just being present and aware of our breath. So I'm going to get you guys, and we discussed this last time, it's a little bit like meditation, and I think someone's mentioned in the chat box that it is about relaxation. So I know that we spoke about this last week. Mindfulness can be really relaxing because we're being really present. By being really present, it calms us down. Yeah. So we're going to do a breathing exercise, which is a form of meditation. So sitting as comfortably as you can on the surface that you're on, whether you're on the floor, whether you're sat in a chair, you can sit on the sofa. Yeah, you can lean up against something if you want to. You can sit on a cushion. And don't get too bogged down with, being in the perfect position either. Just make yourself as comfortable as you can on the surface that you're on. I sit with my legs crossed like that on the floor. Could move back a little bit. There we go. And just resting your hands in your lap where you feel comfortable. And just closing your eyes if you want to. Feel free to open them again at any time. Remembering there's no right or wrong way to do this, just how it works for you. Okay, so we're going to start to connect with our breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel free to breathe out through the nose if you want to, whatever works for you. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out. And all we're going to focus on is lengthening our breath. So perhaps we can take an in-breath, a count of 4. And perhaps we can take an out-breath, a count of 4. And you start to count your breath in and your breath out. Just becoming aware of the flow of your breath. Notice the temperature of the breath as you breathe in. Perhaps it's cool in your nostrils. And the temperature of the breath as you breathe out. Perhaps it's warm as you breathe out. Just drawing your attention to these things, the length of the breath and the temperature of the breath. And then placing a hand on your stomach, one hand on your chest, and notice the rise and fall of your body. Feeling the breath enter your body and the breath exit. Notice how your body moves with your breath. You can use this breath and this breathing technique as an anchor point for yourself. So if you're feeling a little bit lost or confused, you can always return to your breath. Breath is your faithful friend that's always there. You can use it as a sense of grounding and centering and just coming back to yourself. And then bringing your arms back down by your sides and gently opening your eyes when you're ready. Good. Nice. So hopefully you've applied some mindfulness to your breath and become aware of your breath. I mean, it's something, when we say mindfulness brings conscious awareness, we unconsciously breathe, don't we? We're doing it all the time. Our body just does it. We trust our body to breathe for us. We don't have to do it because our body is doing it for us. So bringing conscious awareness to something is what we've just done. We've focused our attention on our breath. And it brings a whole new meaning, and it has a really positive effect. And if you want to share anything, share any experiences, or discuss with the person, I know that Grant and Lucy, you guys are together right now, so you can have discussions and you can communicate with each other if you want to about that. And if anyone else wants to share any experiences in the chat box, that's fine. If you're watching the recording, just have a little chat with the person next to you about what happened during that breathing exercise, how you felt, how it affected your body. How do you feel now? And that will lead us on nicely to our next exercise. And ways that I use this breathing technique, I describe it as having a mindful minute. So sometimes when I'm feeling really good, I might be getting a bit excited, or sometimes I might be feeling a little bit sad or confused. I take this mindful minute. It doesn't have to be exactly a minute, but it's, it doesn't take long. And I just sit and I connect with my breath for no other reason other than just to bring conscious awareness to this moment, to my breath. And I often find it just gives me that, like I said, bringing myself back to me, just that nice calm level, whether I need to feel a bit better or I need to just calm down a bit. It just brings me back to this nice even level, and then I can open my eyes and I can carry on with whatever it was I was doing, but from a more centered approach. So just getting some messages in the chat box. Oh, that's interesting, Jenny. Yeah, yeah. So things that we don't notice, or things that we thought we feel, and then all of a sudden we can feel quite differently, can't we? It gives us a bit of clarity. Thank you. I was just reading another comment. Yeah, that's lovely, Mary. I agree. I agree completely with that comment. It just helps bring awareness in different areas and makes us feel a lot differently. And I think as well, like, this isn't trying to take anything away from ourselves. So if we are suffering from pain, physical pain, any physical pain, it doesn't take away, it's not a magical cure, but it helps us think differently about our situation, which can in turn have a more positive effect on something, which in turn can help us move through these situations, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain. Often we get really focused on those things and we can't see through it. And mindfulness is a really helpful way of doing that. Okay, so we did something last week, which was a little bit out there, but a lot of you really took to it. And that was checking in with our internal weather. And I told you guys, Jenny's excited. I told you guys about my happiness facilitator training and how I trained to teach happiness to people from the Museum of Happiness. Aha, sounds really cool, doesn't it? It's a really cool place with really lovely people, obviously. And we did something that really stuck with me, and I want to share it again with you guys. And it's a really easy way of checking in with our feelings without putting too much pressure on it. And it's thinking about it in terms of us having an internal weather. So if my thoughts, feelings, emotions, mind had a weather forecast right now, what might it be? And sometimes I'm going to take us back into a meditation. I'm going to get us nice and calm to a nice, even place, calm place. And whatever comes up for you, just let it come up. It's not necessarily what the weather's like today, although it might be. You might be feeling like, well, it looks like you've all got lovely sunshine today, wherever you guys are. I've also got lovely sunshine. But it might be that internally you're feeling like you're in a bit of a cloudy storm, or also your mind might take you somewhere. You might go somewhere like a crystal clear lake, or, you know, a dewy lawn in the morning. I don't know. So I'm going to take you through a little meditation. And what I want you guys to do is think about what your internal weather might be. And I'm actually going to get something really, really special. Hold on. Where's it gone? I've got my singing bowl, and I think we'll use this maybe more in future sessions. But today I'm just going to use this, and you'll hear this sound. And this sound will mark the beginning of the minute where you're going to focus on your internal weather, and then I'll bosh it again at the end to signal the end of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back into okay, we're going to come back into our seated position, and I'm going to talk you guys through this. So don't worry, you're going to have me with you. I'm not going to leave you to do anything that, you know, you might be a little bit confused if it's your first time, but hopefully we'll build on it each week. Okay, so sitting as comfortably as you can on the surface that you're on. And again, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. Just allow your hands to be relaxed in your lap, wherever you want them to be. We're going to start by connecting with the breath again. Connecting with the breath in through the nose, and connecting with the breath out through the mouth or the nose. And just focusing on lengthening our breath. Long, deep breaths in. Slow, releasing breaths out. With each out breath, I want you to focus on letting your shoulders relax. So let's imagine with each out breath that your shoulders are just melting down your spine, down your back, all the way down to the floor. Noticing your bottom on the floor, or your seat or your sofa, wherever you are. And just feel that with each out breath, just melting down. And then with each in-breath that you take, I want you to focus on lifting and lengthening through the top of your head. With each out breath, let those shoulders melt down. With each in-breath, lifting and lengthening up through your head. With each out breath, letting the shoulders go. So you should feel a solid sense of grounding from below you, and a sense of lightness and lifting from above you. Just allowing your neck to become long. Thinking about the space between your earlobes and your shoulders. Maybe that's increased as your neck's got longer. In a moment, I'm going to sound the bowl, so you can keep your eyes closed for this. And when I sound the bowl, what I want you to think about is what your internal weather is like in this moment. If your feelings, thoughts and emotions could have a weather forecast, what would the weather be like for you today inside yourself? And really allow your mind to wander to wherever it wants to go. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to think or feel. Just allowing whatever comes up to come up for you. And if you visualize a place, that's fine too. If you're just in the room that you're in, that's fine too as well. So you're allowing your thoughts, feelings, emotions, body to have an internal weather forecast. So when I sound the bowl, just allow yourself to become present and mindful of that. And then when I sound the bowl for the second time, we won't do it for too long, then we can slowly start to come out of it, and you'll know that it's the end of that meditation. Okay. So I'm going to sound the first bell. So let's slowly start to connect back with our breath again, noticing the breath coming in through our nostrils and breathing out through our mouth or nose. Connecting back with our physical body, noticing the temperature in and the temperature out. And then slowly starting to move your fingers and toes, maybe just rolling the head forwards a little bit. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming back to look at the screen. Lovely. Okay, so those of you that are with us today live, if you want to share with us, you can do. You can type what your internal weather was in your chat box. Maybe nothing came up for you. It's quite an abstract concept and thing to do. So well done for giving it a go, everybody. I know that might be quite new for some of you. But feel free to share. You don't have to share. If you want to share with the person next to you, you can, if you've got a couple of you in the room, you can share with each other what your internal weather was, or even how you found the experience. Did you enjoy the experience? Did you not enjoy the experience? So yeah, this is your opportunity just to share that. If you don't want to share as well, you don't have to at all. And remember, there's no right or wrong answer with this. It's just what you experience. Maybe you want to write it down or journal it, or maybe you just want to keep it all in your mind, and that's fine too. So I'll share. Oh, we've got lots of different weather types going on. We've got some cool weather. We've got some fog, rain. Sun and rainbows. Lovely. Nice. Yeah, so like I said, sometimes when I do this exercise, often if there's lots of, I find that often if there's lots of weather conditions that come up, it can often represent your mood or how you're feeling or thinking at the moment. I've been doing this a long time. So I practice this quite a lot. I'd say a couple of times a week I do this for myself, it's almost like helping myself out. Sometimes if I'm a bit confused about how I'm feeling, this is a good way for me just to be kind to myself and be like, okay, so you're feeling a little bit cloudy today. Okay, maybe just take it easy. Or you're feeling, oh, it's a nice sunny day today. Oh, that's good. So you're feeling good today. Or, sometimes what we think we're feeling inside can sometimes be a little bit different. But remember that the sky holds all the weather, all the different weather conditions, doesn't it? The sky can hold it. And you can hold all of your emotions too, just like the sky. So just remember that you're not always going to feel, like a wonderful day. Sometimes you're not going to feel that, and that's fine, because just like the weather, our feelings and thoughts and emotions change. So we can think about that as in terms of the weather. Cloudy days pass, rainy days pass, storms pass, but so do sunny days as well. Sunny days don't last forever. Sometimes you might not even like a sunny day. You might love the rain. Everyone has different ideals of what is nice for them, and that's the good thing about the weather, is that it's always changing, and so are we. So we can think about ourselves as the weather. Oh, you like the singing bowl? Yeah, well, we did some mindfulness activities last week with sound, didn't we? We were mindful of the sound around us. So maybe I'll make a note of that. Maybe we can go back to some sound next week, and we can maybe use the bowl a little bit more. It's a wonder, and I can talk to you about this. There's a whole lot of stuff about sound and sound vibrations. So next week we'll use the singing bowl a bit more, and we'll do some sound. Let me just make a note of that in my book. Okay, how are we doing for time? Oops. Okay, so next, what do I do next? I want to, yes, we're going to focus now on something called, okay, good. We're going to focus now on gratitude, being mindful of the things that we have around us. So how do you think being grateful, or does everyone understand the concept of being grateful? Do we understand what being grateful means? Yeah, so appreciating the things that we have around us, being thankful for certain things, yeah, and the things that we have around us. That's what grateful means. I remember being a child, if I was not being, if I always was saying, I want this, my mum would say, you're so ungrateful. I wasn't being grateful for things that I have. Yeah, so as you get older, or you have a more appreciation for these things. So it's important to be grateful for these things. So how do you think being grateful affects us? So how do you think being grateful affects your mood and your feelings? Have a little think about it. Maybe chat with the person next to you, journal it, or you can use the chat box if you're with me now. How do you think being grateful affects you, me, us as individuals? What can it do for us to be grateful? Do we think being grateful is a positive thing? Is it helpful to us, to you as a person? we've got some comments. I think it makes you feel more positive and appreciating the things that you have, even if they are very small things. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We can find gratitude. We can find things to feel grateful for and thankful for in the smallest of ways. So they don't have to be really big things. You know, like people think that by having, you know, big car or big house or wonderful life-changing events are things to be grateful for, but actually just finding gratitude in the smallest of things, we can always find gratitude in the smallest of things, is a really powerful thing. And I always say, you know, starting small and working your way up. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. We're going to do a little gratitude practice. We're going to have a little practical activity. And I want you to have a little look around your room, the room that you're in now. Something that's maybe always there, something that doesn't really move from that room. And I want you to be mindfully grateful for that thing. So have a little look around your room. It can be anything. First of all, I want you to acknowledge what that thing in your room is. So what is it? Be mindful of it. So bring conscious awareness to that object. So what color is it? What shape is it? What's its purpose? So bringing conscious awareness to that object. What does it look like? Maybe what does it feel like? What's its purpose? And then, how can you be grateful for that object? What, even if you don't really think it affects you in any way, in what ways can you be grateful for that object that you're looking at right now? And it might bring up a whole range of things. Or actually, you might think, oh my goodness, I don't even know I've got that thing. Let me read some of the comments. So yeah, feel free to talk amongst yourselves in the room if you're with other people, or silently do it, and then you can share with each other, and feel free to share with me as well. So I think I'll give an example of something. So I would look at, I've got a desk, a bureau in our front room, and if I was going to be mindful of this object, I would say that it's wooden, it's brown, its purpose is to store things and to enable myself and my partner to work from, and it came from my late father, so it was his bureau, and now I have it. If I was to apply gratitude to it, well, I could actually go on for a really long time. I'm grateful that I've got a space to work. I'm grateful that it has so much history and meaning to me. I remember when me being a tiny little girl, I was like 4 years old, and I remember my dad working really hard on it. I'm grateful that it has a practical purpose for us, that we're able to put our things in it and store things in it. Yeah. So something that is just there all the time, you know, you can be mindfully aware of it, and you can also apply gratitude to it. So that's just an example of how we can do that. But we can also apply gratitude to, you know, quite negative situations as well. So if something is impacting us in a negative way, or a way that we're not happy with, we can also try and find reasons to be grateful as well. So if there's something in our lives that's, you know, like maybe even we could take this period of time, you know, we can list all the things that are bad and all the things that we're missing out on, and maybe, you know, people that we've lost or that are suffering. But actually, we can also apply some gratitude to it. We can learn lots of lessons for it. I definitely wouldn't be connecting with you guys, and you guys wouldn't be connecting with me if it wasn't for this period of time. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for being introduced to all of you lovely people. So there's always things to be grateful for, and actually being grateful, being mindfully aware of something and then becoming grateful for it helps us to feel better, to feel good, to feel calm, to feel all those things that were mentioned earlier on. Yeah? So we're going to do one last practice, and this is going to be quite a nice one. We're going to do a body scan. We're going to become mindfully aware of our body, and we're going to apply gratitude. I'm just going to read some of these comments. I've got some nice comments coming through, so I can share with everyone. I won't say who said what, but I can share with everyone. So we've got, for me, being grateful is telling you that you are thankful in a positive way and appreciate for what you need or not need, but I'm thankful for my mum, for horse riding and skating and trying different things. Yeah. I'm really grateful to my mum as well for giving me so many opportunities as a child. You know, some people aren't fortunate like in that area. So yeah, I'm grateful for being able to do classes like this, opportunities I would not have had without the coronavirus. Exactly, yeah. If we hadn't have had the coronavirus, I think a lot of people are definitely bringing conscious awareness to that, mindful, conscious awareness to the coronavirus. It's brought some absolutely awful things for many people, and I think we've all been affected in a negative way, but most of us, if we can be grateful for or find gratitude in this situation, a lot of us can. And yeah, I mentioned it as well, and you did too, that we wouldn't have had these opportunities. So definitely. So things in our rooms, yes. So I've got some examples. People have said some things about objects in their rooms that they're grateful for. So picture frame of my mum's wedding anniversary, and I appreciate their hard work. And my grandma's necklace on me because I'm grateful for what she did with me. And I'm grateful that she's not suffering and in pain. Oh, that's a lovely necklace with her cancer, and she's always with me and trying to connect with me and to be grateful. Lovely, yeah, definitely. There's many things. A lot of things hold a lot of symbolism for us. I'm also wearing a very symbolic necklace. This was my dad's. So that holds a lot of, yeah, I'm grateful for a lot of things. So I could be very sad and upset and angry that he's not here with me, but and I am a lot of the time, but I'm also very mindful of my feelings and emotions, and I accept it, and I can understand why I'm feeling that way, and then I can move forward with gratitude. It's not about dismissing those feelings, you know. Okay. Hello, Sarah. Hi. Okay, so we're gonna finish up with this this bringing mindful awareness to our bodies and applying some gratitude to it. So we're going to do two concepts here: mindful awareness and gratitude with our bodies. So we'll give it a go. Don't worry if you get a bit lost in it. I'm going to use my voice to guide you through. Don't worry if you lose focus. Like I said, use your breath as an anchor point. So if at any time the words that I'm saying are getting jumbled in your mind, or your mind's going off to, oh, my lunch smells nice, I wonder what I'm having for lunch, or is it time for lunch yet? No, it's not time for lunch. It's only 20. I'm so hungry. I'm ready for my lunch. Or, you know, the workmen are making all that noise outside. Just be mindfully aware of that noise. Yeah? Bring it back to your breath. Bring it back to the words that I'm saying. Use your breath as an anchor point. And you can use your breath as that anchor point whenever you like. All right, so making yourself as comfortable as you can on the surface that you're on, however that looks and feels for you. Bringing your arms down into your lap, just relaxing them, however you want to do it, wherever you want to place your hands. Taking some nice deep connecting breaths in through the nose. Slow releasing breaths out through the mouth or the nose. Focusing on lengthening your breath. Noticing the temperature of the breath as you breathe in and the temperature of the breath as you breathe out. Noticing the rise and fall of your breath. So again, if you want to place your hand on your chest or your stomach to do that, you can, or you can just leave your arms in your hands in your lap if you want to stay there. That's up to you. Noticing your sit bones, so your bottom on the surface that you're on. Feeling supported and grounded. And then lifting and lengthening up through the head with each in-breath. Allowing the shoulders to melt down your spine with each out-breath. So become mindfully aware of the surface that you're sitting on. What does it feel like? Is it soft? Is it hard? We're going to pay some attention now to our feet. Hello feet, hello toes. Can you give them a wriggle? Don't worry if you can't. How do my feet feel in this moment? Do they feel warm? Do they feel cold? What sensations can you notice in your feet? Can we apply some gratitude to our feet? What would you like to thank your feet for? Remember, you're just doing all of this in your mind. This is just for you. Moving up to your legs. Hello, legs. How do you feel in this moment? What sensations can you feel in your legs? And maybe you want to move your legs a little bit if you can. Don't worry if you can't. Just notice any sensations in your knees, your thighs, your calves, your shins. If you start to get confused or your mind wanders, just take those deep breaths again. Recenter yourself, become aware of your breath. And if you're able to, what can you be thankful for your legs? How can you apply gratitude to your legs? You say, thank you, legs, for... whatever you want to be thankful for. Don't worry if you can't find anything today. We'll just keep practicing. Let's move up to our bottom. Maybe give your bottom a bit of a wriggle. How does my bottom feel today? What sensations can I notice in my bottom? And most of you will be seated, so you should be able to feel your bottom. Don't worry if you can't. Round into your hips and your groin, your pelvis area. How does this area of my body feel in this moment? Can you find things to be grateful for? Moving up to your spine, your lower back. How does my lower back feel in this moment? Does it feel sore, good, bad? Can you feel it? Maybe you can't feel it. Maybe you can't notice it. What sensations do you notice in your lower back? Thank you to my back for What reasons can you be grateful today for your lower back? Our spine. Isn't our spine so important, so wonderful? How can we be grateful for our spine? Should we move up our back? Moving further up? What do we notice as we move further up? How can we bring mindful awareness to our spine? What do we feel? Does it feel good, bad? Is it sore? Maybe you have no feeling there at all. Maybe you can't quite notice anything. That's fine too. How can we be grateful for our spines? What would you like to say to your spine? Thank you, spine, for... Don't worry if you can't think of anything. Let's move round into our tummies. You can even put your hand on your tummy if you want to. How does my tummy feel today? What sensations do you notice in your stomach? I already mentioned that I'm hungry. Maybe you've got a bit of a tummy ache today. Maybe your tummy feels really strong, or maybe it feels a bit soft. There's no right or wrong way for your body to feel. However it feels is exactly as it should be in this moment. And I invite you to be grateful for your tummy. So what would you like to say to your tummy? Thank you, tummy, for... and whatever you want to say. Moving up to our chest. Lots going on in our chest. We've got our ribs and our heart and our lungs. Breathing deeply into our chest. How does your chest feel? Noticing, bringing mindful awareness to your chest area. What sensations do you notice in your chest in this moment, if any at all? How can we be grateful for this area? What would you like to say? How would you like to say thank you to this area? Thank you, chest, for... we could break it down. Thank you, heart, for... thank you, lungs, for... thank you to my ribs, for... we can do this with each part of our body in real detail if we want to. Moving up to our shoulders. Hello, shoulders. You can move them around a bit if you can. Don't worry if you can't. Let's bring some mindful awareness to our shoulders. Maybe you want to move them a bit just to know that they're there, or don't worry if you can't. How do my shoulders feel in this moment? What sensations do I notice in my shoulders? Thank you, shoulders, for... whatever you want to say to them. Moving down through your arms. Bringing mindful awareness to your arms, down through your elbows, your forearms, and your hands and your fingers. If you want to move your arms, you can, if that helps you become aware of them, or just keeping them still as well. You don't need to move them to be aware of them. You know that they're there. Just remembering that your body is unique to you. So however your body is exactly as it should be in this moment. So what would you like to say to this part of your body? How would you like to give thanks and appreciation? What sensations do you notice, if any? Remember, you've always got your breath to reconnect with if your mind wanders to other things. And then you can come back to the task. Let's move into the neck and the throat. Bringing conscious, mindful awareness to this area. What sensations do you notice in your neck and throat? How can we be grateful for this area? Thank you, neck, for. Thank you, throat, for. I just swallowed. Moving up to your head now, to your ears. I can't move my ears. Being aware of your ears. How do they feel today? Can you hear anything? What can you hear? Bringing mindful awareness to your ears. How do they feel? What would you like to be grateful for? How can you be thankful, grateful to your ears? Thank you, ears, for. Moving around to our mouth. There's lots going on in our mouths. Tongues, teeth, saliva, lips. Bringing mindful awareness to this area. What sensations do you notice in your mouth? Thank you, mouth, for. Thank you, tongue and teeth, for. I just brought some mindful awareness to my legs. They're feeling a bit stiff. Maybe I need to move them. Up to your cheeks, your nose, your face. What sensations do you notice through your cheeks and your nose today? Thank you, cheeks, for. Thank you, nose, for. How can we apply gratitude to this area? Moving up to our eyes. I'm keeping mine closed, but you do whatever you want to do. How do your eyes feel today? Or how do my eyes feel today? Ask yourself. Eyes, how do you feel today? What sensations do I notice in my eyes? That's what you want to ask yourself. How can I be grateful for my eyes? Thank you to my eyes for. Moving up to my head, my forehead, my temples, all across the top of my head. What sensations do I notice in this part of my body? Thank you, forehead, for. That's a tough one. What can I be thankful for? I have to think about that. I've got one. And then up to the top of your head, your skull, maybe even your hair, if you have hair. Thank you to my skull, my head, for. My brain. Oh, that's a good one. How does my brain feel? How does my skull feel? How can I be grateful for this part of my body? And then just take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth of the nose and just reconnecting with your breath again. And just being mindful of your body as a whole, your whole body. Completely unique to you or to me. We'll say me. So you say to yourself, my body is unique to me, and all of its functions, all of its perfections and imperfections are beautifully unique to me, and I am grateful for my body, all of my organs, muscles, tissues, everything that makes me, me. Taking some nice deep breaths in and wriggling our fingers and toes, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes again. Ooh. Maybe we can just circle the shoulders, roll the neck. So well done, everybody. If you want to share in the comment boxes, we are finishing, we're coming up to 11 o'clock. That went on for quite a while today. Feel free to, if you want to share your experiences. If you don't you worry at all. Maybe I'll end this session for the recording because we're coming up to an hour. So those of you that have joined us for the recording today, we are going to, your task for the week, if you want to do something, to practice something before we meet again, we're going to apply some mindful gratitude to a task that you don't like doing. So think of something that you really don't like doing, and then next time you do it, I want you to apply some mindfulness to it. So what is the task, or what is the thing? Maybe, why don't I like it? Be mindful of why you don't like it. And then I want you to apply gratitude to it. So what can you be thankful for that task? Okay, so those of you on the recording, I'll say goodbye, and